Hey guys, back working on my guide again. Never really stopped really, but after I died for all my cash, I've been PKing a lot, and this is all pretty much real recently, and I got a corrupt vestal longsword, so I'm doing pretty good. And alright, back to my guide. Hey, I want to talk about something now that most people aren't even familiar with, and probably because I made up the name myself. It's called food patterns, or eat patterns, whatever you want to call them. And it's not that difficult to understand. It's how many times you can eat between hits with certain weapons. And I'll just throw this out here right now. Whip, Rapier, D-Scam, Karasis, DDS all have an eat pattern of 1-2-1-2. A D-Long, a CLS, Chaotic Longsword, D-Mace, Rune Crossbow all have an eat pattern of 2-1-2-1. And God Swords, Chaotic Mauls, G-Mauls, Obby Mauls all have an eat pattern of 2-3-2-3. And what that means is that between the first hit, you can eat once, and then after that you can eat twice, and then once, and then twice, or whatever the eat pattern is. And it's also why the Chaotic Longsword is not good for PKing, in that in order to kill someone, they're going to eat twice in between your first hit. So you're either going to have to hit basically double 500, or have 3 really good hits in a row, which is just unlikely. And with the Rapier, Whip, D-Skim, all that stuff, you only have to have 2 good hits in a row because they can only eat once. I don't know what more to say. You either get it now or you don't. And that's food patterns. Okay, the next thing I'd like to talk about is venging. It's something, everyone's familiar with, and people are like, oh my god, you have to have venge in order to PK. Just, the basics, it requires 94 mage. You can use a mage pot to pot it from 89, although I don't recommend doing that. It takes 2 deaths, 4 astrals, and 10 earths to use. How it works is that it deals back 3/4 of the damage dealt. So if your opponent hits a 400 on you, you'll hit 300 back when you are avenged. When you cast Vengeance, it lasts for 1 hit, and then it breaks. You can cast it every 30 seconds. That's the basics. Most people are aware of that, and what most people aren't really aware with is how to venge, really. And that most people just spam click venge, and then they get lucky or something. Which works some of the time, like when you're fighting things that hit really high. You can usually just click it whenever. But if you're, say, fighting whip versus whip, it takes a little bit more timing, and you have to wait. And that involves using the EXP counter, which is this, the counter right here. And when you do damage, it shows the EXP will show up faster before the actual hit does. So it gives you a little bit more time to react, and you can see how much you do by the amount of EXP you get. So what you want to do usually with Avenge is you want to set yourself upright in combat. And I'm gonna show people how to do this now live. Alright, here's my gear. Here's exactly how to use Venge. First, you want to Venge before you enter the wilderness. Pretty easy to do. And then you want to have your EXP counter open, yada yada yada. Next steps to find a fight. Okay, pot. He's mine. Okay. Now, you always want to venge as soon as you can on the first hit, and that's pretty easy to do. Dang, this guy's owning me. And then you wanna wait a little bit. You don't want to venge when they're high HP. You want to venge around probably when they're 10 above your max hit. Like right now would be a perfect time to venge, but I can't because I have to wait that 30 seconds. Okay, so now here's the ideal place where you want when you want to venge. You see the attacks are far apart, and you can hit and then he'll hit. And if I will, see that was really good on his part. Let's see if I can get a hit off. I don't like venging right when they do. Oh crap. Okay. Now, if you're not set up, okay, but I am. But if you're not, you can just click right below your feet and wait until the right time. See, and you'll stop fighting. And here we go. Let's see if I can. Here we go. Perfect venge time. He didn't hit though. That's what you gotta do, and you just wait for your venge. And I might kill him, but I'm not going to. That's pretty much. Oh, alright. Here's a good time. It's called venge busting. It's when you just purposefully mess up their venge. And I prefer to do a DDS spec because it usually hits low, and then it nulls it pretty much. In that it's not going to hit very high. I'll talk about that more in greater detail. Oh, that would have been super perfect. Oops. And no good. Alright. Oh, good fight. I got lucky. Alright, I've pretty much covered most of Edgeville PKing and that not hybriding. And except for a few more things on tips to stay alive. Number one is when your opponent is venged, watch the EXP counter and watch your health. If you hit high on their, high on their venge, you want to be able to eat right away, and you can do that using the EXP meter. And it'll be delayed if you don't, so I recommend using it. You'll adapt to it pretty quickly, and how much damage is what, like 100 EXPs hitting like 150 or something like that, and so on. I think that's. I don't know if there's anything else you can learn from this guide. Well, hang loose, Bretta is hang loose.